Hello, I'm Elizabeth Berry, and this is the Design Your Mind to Be Kind course. We are at our fifth personality to embody our highest self, which is the curious sage. The curious sage. It's time to become a curious sage. Now, I use the word sage as a spiritual realm to enhance your intuition of knowing yourself. A sage is known as someone that solves spiritual dilemmas from a higher level. A sage person is described as studied. Sages are wise and they're knowledgeable, and they're the type of people who think before they speak and act, otherwise known in this course as a solutions-based thinker. We can marry sage with curiosity and build this personality to flourish with inquisition and harmony. The truth about being a good person and a virtuous person comes into play when we're curious, when our mind questions instead of assumes. A curious sage practices and shares positive thoughts rather than letting themselves to reacting or going off the hook for what? To justify, to react, to be angry on purpose, to suffer on purpose. The curious sage says, slow down, get curious, ask questions, have dignity and respect, and find calm and balance. When a person takes on curious tendencies, they seek out information in mature ways, such as asking questions. The curious sage asks you to ready yourself as you embody this trait to light the fire and that spark that's in your soul. Now, when a person takes on the curious tendencies, they tend to be more mature. They unite with the pleasantries of curiosity, and instead of fear and worry, they focus on joy. A curious sage is someone who lights that spark that can enter new relationships in conversations with aliveness, with something to learn rather than holding ground to be right. This type of repatterning leads to a tremendous influential leadership legacy. It leads to healthier relationships. And the curious sage personality is super fun because joy effortlessly comes into your life and surprises you with wonder as you recognize the power of listening to yourself and becoming quiet and becoming more inquisitive in that quietness rather than assuming or judging. Curiosity is such a wonderful tool that helps you slow down so that you're healthy, so that you're uncomfortable, but yet comfortable with that uncomfortable, so that defeat, trauma, anxiety, fear, negativity, pain, imposter syndrome, and all of the things that are negative in your way are blanketed by curiosity. So that blame doesn't come in. Nope. There's only room for possibility in the curious sage. Everything else gets blanketed on, and there's a new slate to write and rewrite your greatness stories so that, in other words, you're getting out of your own way. Blanket all the things that do not serve you. Step aside of yourself and stop feeling guilty or stressed, and stop becoming a victim on purpose and get curious. Choose to respond with questioning and find the inner strength and the wisdom within you that may have been unused until now. You may not have tapped into the strengths of how strong you are on the inside in quite some time. And now is the time to do that in this personality. If you want to build your curiosity muscles, strengthen and train the gym that's the spirit in your mind and in your heart and in your soul, and start to believe in yourself and your inner truth. Take it one step at a time with your footprints in the sand, one rose quartz loop of infinity at a time, and become curious. Curiosity disrupts the flow of stress and mediocrity and the mind chatter of the ego and gives you a chance to grow. It gives you a chance to be respectful during conversations, and rather than being defensive or judgy, you're demanding less and loving more. Right? The ability to fly above in this habit with this personality of the curious sage is to take your conversations and your relationships from uncomfortable to comfortable, uncomfortable to curious even. And if you're upset with someone, if you're upset with what they said or what they did, you can actually shift from anger into questionable and inquisitive and ask why. Ask how you can be better in your relationship. Ask your partner how you can be better. Ask to people to explain what they mean. That's the best part of being curious. The simple gift of asking questions is so powerful. So please, please, please ask away, because not asking leads to assumptions, which leads to letdowns, which leads to expectations and ushers in drama. You can smile and breathe. Instead of reacting, justifying, pointing, blaming, you can use curious statements such as, I'm not really comfortable with what was said. Can we talk about it? I'm not comfortable with what you said to me earlier. Can we discuss it? Can you please help me understand where you're coming from? You know, this type of curiosity opens up a new dialogue in your relationships. And as you learn to ask more questions in life and examine situations with intent, the pride of the ego, that pride swallowing moments of being embarrassed goes away and life gets seamless. And as time goes by and this becomes second nature and habitual, the nature of who you wish to be comes into play. And instead of feeling wronged, you feel curious and filled with joy. Curious sage does not hoard their feelings anymore. When you step into this personality, you commit and dedicate yourself to opening the doors to contemplation. One of the coolest parts about the curious sage personality and the way that I described it and the way that I created it was watching my cats. Now, if you have cats or if you have animals in general, you'll relate to this. My cats wake up every single day and they inspect the house, and they go up to the lamp, to the couch, to the kitchen, to the bathroom. It's like they've never seen it before. Right? They see everything as new every single day. Maybe even after 5 minutes or an hour, they go up to the light and the way the light shines and the plants, and they diminish their ego, and they just become this curious soul seeking newness in everything. And I ask that you take on those tendencies. So in this personality, I am giving you the 5 steps to the curious sage personality. The 5 steps to the curious sage personality. Step 1, evolve unwanted behavior. Evolve unwanted behavior. Be curious. Ask yourself why you're acting in a certain way. If you run from responsibility, if you're running when things go wrong, or you feel petty or wrapped up in drama of the ego, if you make excuses, if you lie, it's so very exhausting. Get curious of why you act that way and evolve that unwanted behavior. Step 2, stop allowing. Stop allowing. If you're an allower, that means that you're just creating regrets for yourself. So get curious and ask yourself, what result do you get from being allowing? What are you letting into your life without boundaries? Adopt the courage to be resilient instead of being so small and scared to speak up. Be direct, communicate your needs. Let go of guilt, which is the root cause of suffering. Stop the excuses and believe in yourself. Step 3, adopt a new attitude. Changing your mind's energy field is so important, especially when things are not going well. When mistakes are made, it's healthy to get curious and to change your attitude rather than to be pessimistic or negative. And you can be more lighthearted and curious and take stress. And like the pebbles in our pails, we're changing our stress to curiosity. And from there, a new attitude can be born in any moment and during any stress. I've done it. I've seen it happen before. Step 4, truly get to know yourself. Truly get to know who you are. When you look within and you get curious about everything it's like self-care time. Think about your habits and your patterns. Think about what you're willing to practice and the self-acknowledgement that you can do to spend more time with yourself and understand who you are at your core being. You know, replace not knowing with curiosity and get to know yourself. And the last step, step 5 in the curious sage personality, is to ask others what you truly need to ask them. Ask others what you need to know. Don't hold back. Don't keep your feelings and your emotions hidden. When someone says something that potentially hurts you or upsets you, Ask why. Get curious. Instead of jumping to conclusions or assuming unhealthily, so many of us are fearful to ask for the truth. But the healthy habit is curiosity. And when you ask why, when you ask questions, curiosity will be the light for someone to turn to you and say, oh, that's a really nice, healthy behavior. That's a mature behavior, as you light yourself up and then you get to receive the clarity, right? So this is the curious sage personality. I love it the most because so many of us assume and then we harbor resentment and we ruminate on these assumptions that might not actually be true. So when you step into the curious sage personality you're getting or not right now, you're clearing your energy and your spirit to be inquisitive, and you're asking yourself what you need to do today. You're asking others what you need from them and what they need from you, and you're getting clear on your tomorrow. So you're now getting your nod as your curious sage personality. So go light up a room with some questions. See you in the next and the last most beautiful personality to embody your highest self.